What's going on here? Dewalt nail gun. She's firing, but it's just not putting any nails out. I wonder why. Well folks, welcome back to the workshop. Today we've got a wee bit of a long shot repair. Dewalt nail gun and for repair, and clearly it's been dropped off the scaffolding or something because she's a little bit broken. She's been dropped anyway, and she's broken the magazine and broken the housing. So we're going to see if we can fix this one up. Now, like I say, this one is a little bit of a long shot. I don't know if this can be repaired or not. Don't know what she's like on the inside. But clearly, it's had a bad fall anyway. She broke the magazine. It's actually broke the plastic here, look. And it's broke the body of the machine as well. So the battery connector's hanging off and the wires have been yanked out of it. So I don't know if this can be fixed, but we're going to have a wee go at fixing it. First thing we need to know is, does it even still work? Obviously, it's not going to fire any nails, but we can at least test it because the metal part of the magazine is still actually bolted on, so the pin can still come up, no problem. Well, that trigger doesn't feel right anyway. Well, not so bad. The motor at least starts up. So we'll take this out and test and see if the actual firing pin will shoot. Don't know if it will or not because the trigger doesn't feel right. This thing's just looking a wee bit comical here. See if it at least fires. There's no nails on it anyway. Right, she does shoot. Maybe it can be fixed. Okay, looking good so far. Well, I was going to say the trigger. Strange the trigger doesn't work, but how can it work? It's only on low speed. That's because this wire's actually pulled out. That's why the trigger's not working. She's on single shot anyway. The motor doesn't start on single shot. And you can't change the setting because that's been yanked out. Right, let's see if we can fix this thing. If we can fix it, it's going to be with second-hand parts. Because I'm not ordering on new parts for this. New parts are just going to cost too much and could be too risky in case it actually can't be fixed. Plus, there's plenty of second-hand parts for these things. Just going to see the springs are broken, but they're actually not. These are the new type springs as well. The wee purple ends on them. Not the green ones, so this must be a fairly fresh gun. Well, 2023. It's not old, but it's not brand new either. But honestly, even if it didn't have second-hand parts, I do not know if I would actually put new parts into this. Because you could be just throwing away money. You don't know how good it is. It was only the body maybe, but the magazine could be a wee bit more money. Watch your fingers in this thing, because she does bite. So that's gone anyway. This is all broken up in here. The bits are actually missing. So we can't salvage that. But to fix it, you would just need the two halves of the body. You could salvage the rest, I would imagine. The slider and everything still looks intact. This is the main thing. The actual body. Another thing is getting the right body, because there's different types of these that has different switches. So you have to have the right one to fit, or just buy the right one. That's not looking too bad at all, actually. Wires aren't even strained. She literally just pulled the connector out. I think we should get away with this, handy enough. Pull all that out. Pull out the little springs, a wee lens, and all this should just come straight out. This is one big assembly just. We can get rid of that. Just keep the screws and get rid of the body. If you wanted, you potentially could fix that. There's literally nothing back here. This is just the wires running down, so this is completely empty, void inside. If I don't have a body here, I might actually fix it. It's only still hanging on here, but you could glue that back together. And then inside put more super glue. And get a wee bit of cotton cloth, like a t-shirt or something, and cut that and sit on top of the glue and stick it out, and then put more glue on top of it. Something with fibre anyway, so the glue will hold it, but it's the actual fibre that reinforces it. That'll actually reinforce all this here and stick it back together again. Because it doesn't matter if this is sitting at an angle. Well, does it matter? Matters a little bit actually, because the magazine's still bolted onto this. But if you had it roughly right, it shouldn't matter too much. Doesn't have to be very exact. But if you built this up with a bit of glue in that, you don't need a lot of space inside here. It's only the wires coming on, so you could glue that back together again. But first, we'll see if I have a second hand one. I'll just give this a wee quick once over as well to make sure there's nothing damaged. That's your frame. This is a whole assembly, but it's made up of different components. So you got your motor unit, your controller. This is your axis up on top. These are all separate components, all assemblies. And in the frame then it's just two side pieces. So this and this, they're just two parts bolted onto the front aluminium assembly here. So they're bolted on, and everything else slides in, bolts onto this frame. This can break sometimes. There's something rubbing inside of here. There's a little bit of metal dust, or else it's just off the driver. But the main thing is there's no grease. No grease and no oil. A little bit of rust here, but that's not a problem. But nothing else broken. Springs are good. Everything's intact. Everything's where it's meant to be. Nothing else snapped. The axis is still good. The springs are still attached here. And the probe is still good. Normally they land on the probe when they get a drop. And they smash something up here. I'd say this just landed on the back of the magazine. Broke this. And then bent around and broke the handle. So we might get away with this. Now, what have we got? That's the question. More so, do we have any Dewalts? Wouldn't have a lot of them scrapped off, to be honest. There's one, but it's the wrong type. This is the older one with just a single power switch. There's no toggle for the bump mode. That's what this one was for. We switch this up the side. This is the first one. So that's no good. It's not off to a good start. I don't know if I have any more of these. Bucket out here because there's a leak in the roof. These are all pass loads. Not looking good. Right, looks like we're going with a glue repair this time. Don't have a second hand one. That other one is just not going to suit because it's off the older model, and this one doesn't have the little switch at the side where this hole is, and I can't just change this board over to the other board and plug it into this because it's not going to be the same. It doesn't have the switch up here for going between single and bump mode. So I'm going to glue this together instead. Now I can't use the body, the clamshell of that second hand one, but I can just use the magazine because it might be a different number, but it is the exact same part. There's no difference in these at all, apart from maybe the stickers. So this one here that's broken is a type 3, and the one I have is a type 2, but everything else in it is identical. There's no problem there. So I can just swap these around. You can just buy the case for this here, the two halves of this clamshell again, or I could just swap these over, but there's not much point in swapping over a second-hand part. All the bits in here I'd want to keep is still on this anyway, and they're still good, so I'll just swap the whole thing over instead of changing parts. But if this happens to you, you can easily just buy these parts on their own. You don't have to get a second-hand gun. I'm not going brand new because the parts are a little bit expensive, but more so I don't really want to wait a week for them to come in. So to buy these on their own, the clamshell, you're talking about €40 for this. And the 2 halves of the magazine, you're looking at about another €30. So it would still be worth doing, but you're going to have to order these parts in. Now, I did also just clean this out because it's a little bit grubby on the inside. And I cleaned this as well just in case there's any grease or oil on it. But I didn't want to put it into the parts washer because obviously there's oil inside of that. So I've just used brake cleaner instead. That'll clean everything off and make sure any oil residue is all gone, simply because it's out in the container as well. So I used brake cleaner to clean that, and now basically I'm seeing stars from the fumes. Right, put the magazine to one side. We'll see if we can fix this. We're just going to do a wee glue job on this to get it back in line and get it held together. We shouldn't need to do very much to it. But first, you want to take that spring out of it. And the blowtorch is our friend for that. Nice low flame. And just get a wee bit of heat on this. We don't need to melt it, we just want to soften it. Just to line the plastic up again, that's it. So it's sitting roughly the right place. Just help it cool down by blowing on it, and that should help hold it in place to make it easier to glue it, because when it's springing back like that, you put glue on, it just wants to spring apart again. That's all. It's not been held or anything, it's just taking the memory out where it's bent back, just so it sits more naturally like this. So if I just glue this now and I haven't let go, it's just going to spring apart again. And the glue is going to release. Don't melt it, just soften it, a bit like Play-Doh. It's soft then, it's a wee bit more malleable. You can get it into the place you want. You can make sure it's all sitting square. So this handle is also a little bit deformed here. We'll see if we can do anything with that, but I don't know if we can. But at least we know it'll still work, even if it is a little bit deformed. It's just a bit squished out here. Look. See, so I'll just basically fold it down here. So this is bent and this is buckled in. You can see where we strain lines are on it. Don't know if we can take that out or not. We can try and see. Very mild bit of heat. Heat gun would be even better as well. Just a wee bit of a blow of hot air just to heat this plastic. But the blowtorch will do in a pinch. Just don't let it sit on the plastic for too long. Not perfect, but better. It's not actually supporting anything. The only thing it's doing is holding the switch and the wee lock lever in place. It's not doing anything else. It doesn't have to be very exact. You just want the switch to be able to move. If it's squashed down like that, the switch just isn't getting in right. Now, quick wee blow of the blowtorch. We can remold it a little bit just to square it up a wee bit better. The rest of it, like I say, it doesn't matter if it's misshapen or not sitting exactly right, because this is sticking out and this is sticking out. The screws will hold this together. This is just holding everything in. It's not actually supporting anything. This here is one solid assembly. You can actually hold this in your hand and actually fire the gun like that, the way it is here. All the metal pieces are supporting all this. This is just a cover so you don't nip your fingers. That's basically it. That and to hold the switch. So the next thing is just fix and support this. Now for wee plastic repairs, this stuff was great. This is super fix. Don't even know if you still get it. It was in the hardware shop once for sale and I took it down here. It's been sitting here since, but it comes in well handy. It's like baking soda and super glue. So this is a powder. You get a black one and a grey one just for fixing plastic. That's just a grey powder and then super glue then. The glue obviously ran out years ago. I'm just using Loctite, but any glue will do. Baking soda and that will do the same thing. It's good for filling in holes and fixing bits of plastic bodies and that. But for this one, a little bit of cloth is even better. So I'll just get the handle initially glued to start with. Get this onto the plastic. If we can get it onto the right spot. Doesn't want to go on. Because we need this roughly in the right place. Get the body round about right. Speed up the cure. Get a wee bit of miter fast activator. This just activates the super glue. I'll spray that, and as it evaporates, just sets the glue. So it holds it nice and quick. And that's the first step. The next step is a bit of cloth. A bit of a t-shirt or something is all you need. Something like that. We're going to glue that down on here, but we don't want it sticking out too much. Now we want more glue. It's just a little bit clogged. This on first, all the way around. Really slap it on. Now if this is anything else, you need to be careful what you get on to. Make sure you're not interfering with any other components. But for this, it's fine. Stick that on, or get the glue on it, and then stick this on top of it. Could have done that better. Poke that on. And then soak it again in glue. I'm going to fold that bit over too, just to reinforce it. Don't take it too close to your face though, because the fumes will sting your eyes. Just get that down there. Still malleable at the minute. You can squish it on. Once this starts to go, there ain't no moving it. Get a wee bit more over there. Now activate that. Now when that goes off, it is solid. That's as hard as the plastic. It's stuck fast. I'll also just put a wee bit of reinforcing around here too. And that is the body reinforced, or at least this side. It's one done. Now get on to the next one. Do the exact same thing to this. I am only just doing this because I still don't know if this is 100% right. I wouldn't want to order on a body and a magazine just to find out the gun still doesn't work. So that's why I'm just mainly either going with second hand or gluing this together. It's the safest option for me. And a little bit that runs off and pulls up at the bottom, just make sure you nip them off. You want a wee drip holding it back from closing. That should do. Now, we'll go with that. It should be strong enough now to hold the battery. The only thing it's doing is holding it together. Once this magazine's on anyway, it's going to be bolted top and bottom, so point it even more. That is as good a fix as any. That saves €40 on a brand new body. This can all then just drop in again. Everything drops in fairly simple on this. And your wee lock switch. That should hopefully move right now. Will it? That's the other danger. This could be still tight. As you can see down here, you're only just taking on these wires. That's it. There's nothing else here to interfere with. So 4 wee springs on this. These are the little detents for these switches for the different positions. They clip on there. Put your 2 switches back in place. Hold them on, plug this in, and just slide all that back in. Don't forget your little lens here for your indicator for your fault, although you'll never see the wee light. That's just sitting on there. That's it. There's nothing else down here that's going to interfere with that there. So don't be afraid about putting on too much reinforcement. If you want to put on more, you can. It's just the wires it's going to be touching. There we go. It's not going to close up perfectly square. The screws will help with that anyway. Yeah, we might get away with that. First thing, take off the old heart of the magazine. That's just the nail guide. Take that off. The 2 screws are still here. Get these 2 boys in as well. We're at it. Not looking too bad now. And just the second hand magazine. That should just click into place. And one bolt. The question is, how well is this going to line up? It's actually fine. Trigger still works, that's the main thing. Let's bring it back, no problem. So that squished body, didn't squash it too much. You can see it's not perfect here, but as long as it works, that's the main thing. I can stick on the actual driver assembly. At least we know this does work. A little tight back there, just in this slip, but that's not that big a deal either. It's not doing anything. That should be her. Only other thing, the belt clip. Will this go back on? Might be a bit tight, but it will go on. Now, don't make it too tight actually, so I can still move. Right, that's her. The question is, does she work? So, bump mode's the main thing. Will she start? Looking good. And she has high speed. Now, let's see how well she fires. Not so bad. Got a hand to that wee Dewalt. She's tough enough. They don't last an awful long time as on repair wise. You have to keep getting bits replaced. But they're tough enough anyway. If they get a drop, break the body, they can at least be fixed up. Second hand parts keeps cheaper. But even if you don't have a scrap one, you can actually buy the parts fairly cheap. €40 for this, €30 for that. Still be worth fixing. Especially if you have either one of them already. But that's her. Up and running again. I have that whole assembly on, but I've still got all these parts to actually take out if I ever need them. One thing I will swap over is that wee Allen key. Because these Dewalts, you definitely need that. To open this thing, all it is just two screws, and that literally just folds out. You have to pull off this here strap, you squeeze it on down here, slide that off, then the two halves just come apart. You can take off that little steel piece at the top, swap them over. Very, very easy. That's it. One Dewalt second fix gun, DCN692, Type 3, up and running again with a few second hand bits. Anyway folks, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed this wee Dewalt fix. If you're enjoying the videos, as always, make sure to give us a wee like and a follow down below. And if you want to help out the channel, make sure to hit that subscribe button too. But till next time folks, I'll chat to you all later.